Jennifer Finley. Here. Jim Molitor.
Here.
Carol Langford. Len Tooties.
Here.
Bing Matt.
Here.
Ellie Bundy.
Present.
Martin Charlo.
Present.
Mike Dolson.
I'm here.
James Dale Senior.
And Mr. Chair, just for the record, Carol's on travel for work.
Thank you, Martin. Martin, would you please lead us in a prayer today?
Thank you, Grandfather, for this day. Thank you for allowing us to wake up. Ever thankful for that opportunity. Just pray for anyone out there that's suffering, it's got pain with them, sickness, any of that, mental health pain, physical pain, or just as bad as the other. Pray for all of our elders, our children, any of our relatives, all my coworkers here within the organization, outside, anyone we have dealings with, let them come to an understanding of where we're at, who we are, why we do the things we do. Pray for all the people out there that aren't always on our side, the people that want to cause problems and just dwell on the past and dwell on negative things. Let them have a change of heart. Let them see things for the way they are. A lot of entitlement out there. Let them realize that we have the opportunity to do things, move on, create big things, look to the future. And let us make those decisions today with that in mind. Let us have clear minds, strong hearts. Pray for all my friends, family, and especially pray for all my enemies. So much.
Thank you, Martin. Okay, we have our minutes from January 27th. I have one correction on page 3. The Ronan School Hall of Fame event is this Friday at February 4th.
Mr. Chair.
Ellie.
Abby, on page 5, Juan's last name with the city of Polson is Escano.
In that same paragraph, Abby, the fellow that Juan introduced, his name is Tom Mavity. I'm not sure how to spell the last name, but that's what he said, it was Tom Mavity.
On page 5 of 7, where it said that I would like to get the HiSET program going. Actually, the Dixon School had requested having HiSET down at the community building. And I just offered that if they needed the building, that we might have a building available in the agency. Thank you.
Martin?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On page, I guess it'd be 2, with my COVID update, I just wanted to make sure if Anita's all right with it. I don't believe that number of 5,000 cases is correct. That might have been, I would just maybe say that there was a surge in cases to not be inaccurate. And then the second sentence, could I put that work remotely or find alternative safe measures to work? Thank you.
Corrections.
Motion by Len to approve the minutes with corrections, second by Anita. All those in favor? Unanimous. Our agenda today. Is there any modifications to the agenda council has? When? Martin?
Open, please.
Okay, Jen?
I had one walk-in. You guys can see it on your agenda for Cora Newman.
Okay. Thank you, Jen.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to request that Rick Inyes join us for this discussion that I want to have with council.
Okay. Sounds good.
Motion to approve with correction or with additions.
Motion by Martin to approve the agenda with the additions. Second by Jimmy. All those in favor? Unanimous. Let's go ahead and take our walk-in right now. Cora? Yes, please. Yes. And you push the button there for the mic that turns.
Thank you very much. Oh, no, nope. Okay. Chairman McDonald, Council, thank you for having me today. My name is Cora Newman. I'm running for the new U.S. congressional seat in Montana. We have a new U.S. congressional seat here, a Western District, that it includes CSKT and Flathead County. So I'm very honored to be with you here today. I ran for U.S. Senate last cycle before Governor Bullock stepped in, met with some of you then. I had stepped out and supported him. And that very same week, COVID hit our state. And so have been engaged over the last 2 years on COVID relief across Montana. Just going to share a little bit about my background and my work with tribes, and then would love the opportunity to hear from you as well. I also want to start off by honoring the really incredible vision of this council and of your tribe. Read through the 7 resolutions that have been passed that are focused on economic development and tourism, entrepreneurship, investments in business, decreasing homelessness, increasing investments in culture. I did, when it was safe, visit your college here and visit your language school, and just want to really honor the leadership the leadership role that you play in Montana and among the tribes. So my name is Cora Newman again. I was raised in Bozeman by a homemaker and a union carpenter. When I was a baby, my dad died in a lumber mill accident. And if we had been closer to good care, he probably would have survived. My mom moved us as a young widow, me and my brother, to Bozeman, and we were raised there surrounded by a wonderful community. She raised us on her own until she met my stepfather, who was a carpenter. And I later watched him commute from Bozeman to Great Falls just for the next good union job. So I was shaped by those 2 challenges to go on and work in rural health and economic development to make sure that our rural communities have access to the healthcare they need, as well as access to good economic opportunities and jobs. Neither my mom or stepdad graduated high school, but they encouraged me to pursue my goals to get an education, and I got a master's and PhD in public health and development. And my work has been throughout my career, 25 years, has been working closely with both tribes and rural communities. And the reason I chose to work with tribes was because growing up in Bozeman, we didn't learn about the land that we were living on and the people that had been custodians of this land through to the time immemorial. And something about that just did not sit right with me. It was upsetting to me that we didn't learn more about the tribes when I was a child, and the land that we were on and the tribes that surrounded us and that we were living amongst. And that was part of the reason that I focused on working with Indigenous communities, and so my studies were focused on revitalization of Indigenous knowledge and working in partnership with tribal leaders across the world and across the US and here in Montana on supporting culture, language, medicine, health knowledge. And I have spent my career delivering results and partnering together with local leaders to increase access to maternal and child health, to mental health care, and to economic opportunities as well. So some of my most recent work, as I mentioned, when COVID hit, I helped mobilize. I worked in partnership with Western Native Voice and many of your organizations here to mobilize $250,000 in aid, direct aid to families across the state, especially with a focus on tribes. So everything from food aid to hot water heaters for families who didn't have hot running water, and just any aid that they needed, as well as training tribal leaders and public health leaders. We brought in the former White House pandemic team. Thank you very much. The former White House pandemic team into Montana to directly advise tribal health leaders on pandemic response. We just really worked hard to mobilize all that we could to help keep our communities safe. Prior to that, I worked closely with tribal leaders in the Bears Ears region to help on restoration of that land, lands that Ryan Zinke had slashed, and Ryan Zinke is my likely Republican opponent in this race. So I have a long-standing commitment to partnership with tribes. In all of my work, I believe it's really important that we work in partnership, the most important way that we can help our communities is to help build leadership at the local level, support leadership at the local level, when it comes to working with tribes from Congress, a huge amount of focus on sovereign nation to sovereign nation relationship. There's so much that we need to focus on and restore on sacred lands protection, on wildlife protection. And yeah, we could go on. There's also certainly a number of attacks on voting rights and tribal sovereignty right now. And so I've been immersed in that and look forward to hearing from you. Our campaign is going really well. My campaign is currently number 4 in the country out of all Democratic challenger candidates. So we are building a lot of momentum and support. We're building a really strong campaign and have been positioning ourselves to win this seat and make sure that there's a champion in Washington who really understands the importance of partnering with local leaders and with our tribes. 2 of my close mentors and friends include Secretary Deb Haaland, and I also have a good relationship with Representative Sharice Davids, and so have already been thinking through what I would hope to achieve in Washington and in partnership with you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me today.
Cora, you know, it's exciting. It's exciting that we have another seat that we've gained. So what a golden opportunity. It reminds me of going back to Pat Williams's days. So yeah, I'm really excited for you. I'm sure that the entire council wishes you the best with your endeavor. So good luck, you know. Any questions for council, for Cora? Well, if we can be of assistance to you, please let us know. We would certainly attempt to help you. Thank you.
Wonderful. And a few things, I just want to also highlight your leadership on wildlife management. I think that I would like to see the tribes be at the table when there's any conversation related to bison and wildlife management. I think that that's something that we need to continue to support and stay aware of. Yeah, and so I look forward to staying in touch with you. I do believe, does the council endorse candidates?
You know, not usually. But, you know, what we like to do is make sure that our constituents are well informed. So you and whatever information you have, we want to make sure that we have a well-read voter group as far as our membership goes and as far as area residents. So that's a key thing for us.
Okay.
Glenn?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the council, and thank you, Cora, for coming in this morning and visiting with us. We've always appreciated candidates that are running for such a high office and take the time to come over and visit with us. I just wanted to inform and remind council and our new council that at one time, I believe it was last year, this council did take an action not to formally endorse candidates.
Yeah.
But we do support you. We just cannot.
Yeah. And I very much respect that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so I just wanted to just let you guys all know, and once again, thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me, and I look forward to staying in touch. I'll follow up with a little more detail on some of my work with the tribes over the years, and looking forward to staying in good touch. I also have my card. Can I give you each my card? Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Anita?
I thank you, Cora, for coming in. The other thing I'd like to say is if you want to get the word out there to the people, we do have a Charcusta newspaper that you can put ads in as well to introduce yourself and your
Great.
agenda. So I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. It's a great outlet.
Well, thank you, Cora. Let us know how we can be of assistance to you.
Thank you
And
very much.
good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, Martin, I think we'll do you next on your agenda item.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So today I actually have some visuals. I'm on it. I believe these numbers are as of yesterday. Actually, let me pause for a sec while we she. All right. Always want to be welcoming to our guests. So again, I believe, like I said, this is updated yesterday. So we are again in kind of the middle of a surge. Hopefully it's an Omicron surge. Crazy that we are now validating, or not validating, but minimizing the surges because they're a different variant. Still very important that we stay diligent. We have 91 deaths in Lake County. Want to send condolences anytime I notice that those numbers change. Those are all people's families and, you know, obviously people in our community. So let's always remember them. We have 357 active cases as of yesterday. It jumped 58 new from whenever the last reporting period was. And so that is definitely an alarming number. Hopefully we can get those numbers down. You know, get out, get vaccinated, you know, wear masks if you're sick. If you're sick, stay home. If you must go out, again, masking is great. You know, it's just another layer of protection. I would equate it to wearing a seatbelt. You're not going to always run into something that's, yeah, you're always going to run into things, and you very rarely need your seatbelt. But when you get in an accident, it's good to wear one, you know. And then another layer of protection would be like a vaccine, would be like an airbag. You know, you have a seatbelt and an airbag, you're definitely more likely to survive a hard accident. So think about your body like a car, and you want to take care of your car, maintain it, do all the things you should. Let's look at it that way. Health is wealth. So let's be healthy. Let's keep our communities healthy. Again, this time of year, mental health, checking on people. Days are starting to get longer, but it's still kind of a gloomy inversion that we don't see the sun all the time. And, it's funny if you go to Missoula, the sun south of here about the valley curves, the sun is shining usually. But definitely make sure that you're doing what you need to try to get as much vitamin D as you can. And just take care of yourselves, check on people that may have suffered tragedies or losses in the last year. The last 2 years have been really hard with mental health, and hopefully, we can get through that as well as this pandemic. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Martin, for that update. We actually have one thing for Cora Newman we usually offer for political campaigns is to offer our landscape to put up signs. So we have a request from Cora Newman to put up political signs on our usual and accustomed places for signs. Is that something the council would entertain? By consensus? I see everybody shaking heads, so yes, absolutely.
Thank you very much. I'll go fill out the form.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Thanks, Cora.
Thanks for coming in.
Okay, I think we're going to move into executive session for the next agenda item.